We are live. Hello and welcome, heroes, to the Crit Academy. I am your host, Justin.
I'm your co-host, Austin.
And I'm your co-host, Ian.
This podcast was created to provide you, our heroes, with new and reusable material for both players and DMs.
We hope to inspire you with creative content that you can bring with you on your next adventure.
Our show may not be suitable for young children, but there is our D&D games.
No.
No.
Not at
Never.
all. We actually had a really exciting game recently. I gave away out the first magic item of the campaign to our lovely friend
Was that really
Matt.
the first magic item? Oh my goodness.
You guys
we got
off,
far
yeah,
without getting...
you started at a higher level too.
Yeah.
So
Then we kind of started off with one, you're right.
Well, I cheated, though, and made a character that built his own magic items.
yeah, it's the first one I've given out, not the first one in the game, right?
Right, yeah.
So that was fun.
So that's
We'll
different.
actually be talking about that. It was a really fun campaign session.
That was a
today, so-
really crazy session. We got 3 crits, I think. That was
yeah, it was
wild.
all around the board,
Yeah.
except for me, I think. That's sad.
Yeah, well, you can't win them
Which
all.
is, well, if you consider the fact I can just will a crit.
Yeah, I mean,
boom!
you could just be like, yeah, this guy has way too much health, and he just gets crit in the face.
Anyways,
Although there was a character in some games where it seemed like I could will crits into existence because he was so lucky all the time.
there is some builds to do with that.
really is,
So I'm really excited for today's show. If you watched our previous episode where we discovered the Mythic Odyssey of Theros, it introduced a new trait called the Mythic Traits, and since we couldn't spend a whole lot of time, I picked a topic that's all about those. So I'm really excited to talk about that.
Honestly, we should just keep revisiting the book because we should.
Yes,
it's
there's a
so
lot.
good.
Yeah, there's some good shit in there.
There's you really can't do it all in 1 hour. There's
not even
way
close.
too much.
Before we get into that, though, if you enjoyed the show and you'd like to support us, head on over to critacademy.com and check out our Patreon page. We can maybe pick up some of our best-selling D&D supplements, or just subscribe to our newsletter and be entered to win Fat Loots every week. If you don't know, you can now pick up our Words of Power, which is spells and incantations for your 5th edition.
Oops.
You're going to want to mute that. Thank you. It's spells and incantations for your 5th edition D&D, now on Kindle, as well as print. So you can go to our website or head on over to Amazon.com, or it's the first posted post on our Facebook. Go click on it.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
I'm super excited.
That's right. Our material's killing trees now.
Oh, God, that's horrible. Why did you
We
have
probably
to word
shouldn't have put it in that
way?
way. Yeah.
It's been available digital.
All the
for a while,
dryads are
but-
gonna kill us now.
Oh, yeah, that's
I
horrible.
word that way because it's hilarious.
But yeah,
It's
so
true. That's
if
fair.
you want to support us, pick that up. It's a powerful role-playing tool for any caster, especially the DM who gets to play all the casters, because it's got incantations and words and stuff in another language. You can use that as a way to cast spells on your players without revealing what it is, which is a lot of fun to me. Unless they got the book too, well, then you're shit out of luck.
Yeah. Then oops. Turns out they speak Latin. Sorry.
Right? I thought it was a dead language. Crit Nation, we want to thank you for joining us today here at the Crit Academy Studios, where everything is made up and your roles don't matter.
Yep, that's right. Your rolls are like a mythical monster battle that's easily forgettable.
Yeah, it's not very mythical at that point, is it?
No.
And I feel like DMs can hit that wall too, where they want to make every battle feel impactful, but when they get to the big bagged evil guy, it's like, well, how do I make him feel way more impactful than all these other guys that I just threw at them?
Yeah, so it's got to be something special.
Or a player does something intelligent that basically takes down the boss in 1 round.
Just detonates the boss.
Yeah, I've had players do that.
I still remember one game where we polymorphed a dragon into a squirrel and then jumped into a bag of holding.
It's funny because I think our player tip today is something
Along those
like
lines.
along those lines,
Oh,
if I
geez.
remember. Maybe I didn't
Oh,
put that in
boy.
there. What is it? No, it's something else. There was one of the players put a meme up. I don't know if it was a meme or it was a story from one of the Crit Nation followers that talked about shape polymorphing a hill giant into a squirrel, and then his familiar just swooped down, grabbed it, and flew up so high
blew
just
it.
dropped it. So I was like, yeah, that's a pretty good tip, but
Yeah,
I
wow.
think maybe I didn't use that one. But anyways, so we got a lot of good stuff for you guys today. For our Let's Talk About Blank segment, I am really excited about this. If you guys haven't seen this video, head on over to critacademy.com/post/episode 177 and check this out. Neverending Inc. has released a new Kickstarter, which basically lets you relive your favorite D&D moments. We all have sat at a table and talked about those moments.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this Kickstarter allows you to actually take pictures and customize them and make your own comics and motion cartoons.
Ooh,
So you can
okay.
literally recreate your favorite D&D moments.
That's pretty cool.
I'm really excited for this.
It does look like it'll be a handy tool for those who don't have video editing tools.
Yeah, and you don't have to have an experience either. When you use it, you just grab things into the scene, and then it gives you little options and poses to alter your characters and stuff. There's a massive collection of variety. It really made me excited to want to get something like this and support this this product. Because honestly, I'm the type of person that I cherish those moments. We talk about your grappling hook all the time and all the cool things you did with it. Imagine if
Done
for
some
the
dumb
holiday,
stuff with that. let me
imagine
tell
if the holiday I presented you with a recreation of one of your most epic character moments. How would that make you feel as a player?
That'd be pretty awesome.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah.
What about you, Ian? So I'm really
Inside joke
excited.
there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, for those who don't know at home, I guess, I'm sure someone out there has heard of our gun mage.
Yes, it's
Our
awesome.
what's the acronym again?
I forget, but basically,
Genetic. I already forgot, dude. That was like a year ago.
yeah,
Glad I know my product that I made so well.
yeah, but Brendan was running a gun mage, and when he was talking about his character, he was talking about how his gun had Elvish written on it, but he misspoke and said Elvis instead.
Yeah.
And it just became an ongoing joke.
So then, for some reason, every time he unholsters, he goes, oh, and then you just experience it every time. It's without fail.
I went ahead and shared the Kickstarter link in the chat. Please, if this sounds like something you would be interested in, please consider checking it out. What did you guys think? Did you watch the video for this Kickstarter?
I have
Yeah.
not. I'll have to give it a go
you're not
next
gonna be able
time.
to get
Yeah,
it
not
out
on that. No.
Shit. But it's a great product. I absolutely loved it. Like I said, and at the very least, you can use it to create scenes too. You can set the background, import your characters, design
Hey,
your
you could
characters,
do some real interesting
and
stuff
just
with
save
that.
that stuff.
It doesn't even have to be like a memorable gift kind of thing. You can even just use it for like storyboarding purposes easily. Yeah.
As a DM, man, can you imagine that? Literally create little like.
Imagine
snippets for
sending
your
it to your
entire
player's
campaign.
phone and stuff too. You can make that
Yeah.
like really interesting and really like modernized.
I mean, it's not gonna be like a Warhammer or Bravo Alpha Busa, but this is still gonna be.
yeah, this
pretty
is
Yeah.
this is still good, and you can use this in more ways, which is, I mean, D&D in a nutshell. Just use everything in a weird way.
Yeah. The other thing that actually I think as a DM that I think is cool about it is one of the hardest things to do is sometimes remember if you've got long times between sessions, creating a short 1-minute video of like
a great
previously
idea,
on
too.
our D&D campaign.
Yeah.
It could be
Frieza
really
and
great.
Cell join forces.
Last time on Dragon Ball Z. Anyways, I think it's a great product by Neverending Ink. Please consider checking it out. They are very close to their goal. Just a few thousand more to go. Please help them hit it. It would really be awesome if this product was able to come to life. So,
Absolutely.
Any other talking points? Any other benefits you could see to help supporting something like this? Something you can get out of it?
I could usually see people making like web shorts of their D&D campaign and throwing them up on YouTube.
Again, that could be really good too.
And that's actually something I thought of. If you watched any of the Critical Role stuff, they have a lot of like fan-made like cartoons and
Like
stuff of their
animations and
favorite
stuff,
scenes
yeah.
that people have put together. And you don't have to have that background to do this on this program. It's meant to open up right in the browser and everything. So it really is fantastic. Honestly, I'm hoping that it gets supported because I personally would love to create some of these with little snippets from like our show about the stupid moments. Like I think one video I shared was us talking about bringing your guns to the gun show, and Brandon was like, I need to get medicine because these pythons are sick, and I just thought something like that would be hilarious.
Oh man.
Oh man, shit's funny.
I miss Brandon.
Yeah, me too. Brandon, come back and hang with us occasionally, man.
Occasionally.
Yes,
Not even
like,
just-
occasionally.
Not even just like on the show, but like play games with us, dude. Come on.
Well, quarantine.
Yeah, I guess that's
I
fair.
mean, we've chosen to move forward, but not. We gotta have a big barbecue or something. Anyways, we're derailing.
Anyway, yeah,
I miss
yeah.
everybody.
We're all
Though
lonely.
we are gonna have. I did tell him he's running a play-by-post for our patrons.
Okay, cool.
And we are going to do an episode on play-by-post, and he's got to be here because he's been running that for months, and it is so fun to read. So,
Good on you, dude.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
And more importantly, I don't have to run it now because I didn't have time to do it, and I felt bad.
Right.
Like I don't have time to sit and do this.
Like I barely even have time to edit what videos I do manage to put out on my
Yeah.
channel.
But we do, before we go on to the main topic, we do have a gift to give away. It's by Loresmith, the modular dungeon tiles, the Arcania set in specific. If you haven't heard about our modular dungeon tiles, not ours, Loresmith's, It's an easy way to create your own beautiful digital maps, which obviously your players could enjoy. The Arcania set in specific, though, lets you create dark, shadowy dungeon maps rich with the fumes of arcane secrets. Usually I make some joke about a magic item being here and some evil devil boss in the other. I don't have anything today.
I always wait.
I'm like,
Who's our winner today?
our winner today is Kenny Newton PT.
Kenny Newton PT?
Hey! We did it!
If you're wondering why he's not pressing the button right now, because that Kindle is slow as hell.
Yeah.
It would take him a half hour to get back to where he's at, so.
So, we're clapping!
Congratulations, Kenny Newton PT. If you didn't win, have no fear. Crit Academy's got you covered.
Yeah, we got you.
I was supposed to say Crit Academy's here, but whatever. Anyways, you can.
We're here.
You can head on over to critacademy.com/loresmith. Get a set of digital dungeon terrain, as well as a couple one-page adventures and some other fat.
Get some
loot,
other
so
real cool stuff.
check
there.
it out.
Yeah.
That being said, we'll be moving on to our main topic, and I'm really, like I said, if you watched our last episode, we were super excited.
We wanted to talk about way more and we just couldn't, but luckily we get to circumvent that today and we get to loop.
Go back around. Thank you, honey. She was taking pictures because apparently there's not enough pictures of us.
Put that right there.
So
That's probably a good thing in my case.
yeah, you know, there's a snippet in our Patreon thing that was a cutout from one of the episodes, and I think I made some comment about keeping my not getting too many pictures of myself on the internet and instead sticking to the radio, and your response was, well, you have the face for it. I'll never forget that, by the way. That hurt my feelings.
Oh man,
I was gonna cry.
that's rough.
Anyway, so we're gonna be talking about Mythic Encounters. Austin, what are Mythic Encounters for those who don't know?
So a Mythic Encounter is something that's totally cool, and as it's presented here, is a creature that has a challenge rating of 21 or higher and has a Mythic Trait, which are something that makes an already badass creature into an even more badass creature.
Yes.
These creatures also come with layers, layer actions, and are legendary creatures in their own right. So they already get all these things. They just get something even more on top of it.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah, exactly. So we've taken a fight that was epic and turned it into something mythic by taking an exceptional creature from lore and adapting their own unique spin on the encounter. So usually it doesn't even like give them like like a static boost like most people would think, like, oh yes, they can resist more magic.
It's not just making them physically stronger.
Like this is something that ties to the core of what that character represents, or I guess creature, not character, but some of them are characters, I guess. But yeah, that is what basically Mythic Encounters are.
Yeah,
in a nutshell.
It's very, very exciting. I absolutely love this because we each pick one we're going to talk about today. But the one thing that I really like about this is I feel like the conditions of combat change with some of these monsters.
Absolutely. Going through some of these that I saw for sure.
I think one of the ones we talked about last week actually talked about its heart opening up or something.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it just stitched back together and kicked your ass again.
It's 4 hearts, that is.
Oh, sorry.
I thought it was
It's
5.
like a cow.
I don't know. But it's a lot.
Wait, no, cows have 4 stomachs, not 4 hearts, right?
Yeah.
Anyways.
The point is.
So it opens up and you have to kill these things. Otherwise, it stitches back together and kicks your ass.
And it can like completely retreat, heal all the way back up aside from the heart that it's missing, and then go right back to you.
And that was something really exciting that we wanted to talk about. So
Mm-hmm.
we delved into this new product that I'm going to pull up called Mythic Encounters. Can I first just say there's an awesome team of designers on this. Steve Fiddler and Brian Holmes are awesome. I have had the privilege of talking and working with some of these people on projects, so they are awesome. The content is great. The cover art is dope as hell. It's basically this giant, like winged serpent, coiled around this like big spike thing. I don't know. It looks awesome as hell.
It looks just
you can see other
beautiful.
flying
Oh yeah.
dragons or something in the background. Anyways,
Makes you wonder if they like call more as like its
maybe.
as like its mythic trait, like it lets out like a bellowing roar and it calls in reinforcements nonstop so it can heal itself back. That'd be so
That is
broken.
really cool.
That'd be so dumb. I'd hate it. But of
Ian,
course I'd love it because
before we get too far into this, what are your overall views of this?
Let's
Your
face
thoughts?
it, there are some parties and some players that just function well as a group and just simply needs a bigger challenge thrown at them.
yes.
Yes.
This will throw
This
a
is
bigger
what it's
challenge
for,
at them.
honestly.
This is probably gonna need like 8 players to fight some of these things, like
and I-
legitimately.
I think that it
Depends.
makes because it alters the conditions of combat. it requires the players to think on their feet. Like with the heart thing, if it opens up and they got to kill 4 of them and it's retreating, they are now trying to deal with this while they're chasing it.
In water,
Yes.
by the way, which is so dumb to deal with.
Better have underwater breathing prepared, because what happens if they don't? It's over.
Which one's this one?
I lost it.
Uh-oh. Is it...
There.
That looks like that's it. Nope, that's...
No, I think I done broke his stuff, man. I tried to make sure he had the stuff prepared on his tablet, and it's not here. I have no idea what I did. If you can go back to the thing, you should be able to pull it up on the...
on the
Google
drive?
Drive.
Yeah, right there.
Well, that doesn't work. Anyways,
well.
and you can also look over my screen,
I could just
too.
look over, yeah, it's fine.
Well, see, I try to be prepared, and then shit just falls apart.
You know, that's the show.
Well, that thing's a pile of shit. That's why it's out here to begin with. The noises.
I think I gotta go to this
Okay.
one.
Anyways, so
It'll just take a while.
we talked a little bit about what Mythic Encounters are. There are some other details in this book that I want to talk about before we get into our choices. Aside from going through, and they do a great job of explaining the different mythic actions and things you can get, they talk a lot about what's called call-out descriptions, which is something that's very needed in a changing or a shifting of the fight, right? It needs to be clear that something is changing from the fight you were just in. They call it a description call-out. It says mythic creatures need a narrative, a description of what occurs when the mythic trait triggers. It's announcing some shit has just happened.
Yeah, like this is very, very big.
Yeah.
Okay. I got bad news. You knocked that guy out. Why is that bad news? Because it's using his willpower to hold back the demon inside him.
Yeah, like it's something like that usually.
Yes, that's really, really great.
That's honestly exactly what it feels like, though. Like, it's like, oh, wow, we finally took that guy down. Well, that's bad. Why is that bad? We just beat the guy. It's like, oh.
Unfortunately,
He was possessed by,
that happened in
by
in
Baphomet
Naruto,
himself.
didn't it? When the sand demon guy.
Something like that.
Yeah.
When he was fighting
essentially.
the sand ninja guy,
Gara?
Gara?
when he puts himself to sleep, the sand demon takes over, making him way stronger, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I like that. There's some
Pretty
precedent for that.
much.
So, precedent, not president. I think that's what I said. Don't forget rewards. If you're gonna toss something like this at your players, you better stack them rewards. Like,
Yeah, like,
the
the reward isn't the challenge, even though that's part of
definitely
it.
part of it, but
But-
you're right. It's definitely something you need
There's
to.
certainly more than that, yeah. I can agree
So the first thing that they talk about is rewards, because obviously magic items are a given, right? We're
Oh, yeah.
expecting magic items, but
You probably need magic items to fight these fuckers.
right. Well, at level 20 CR. I mean, for clarification, all these monsters are CR 21 or higher.
Yeah,
They're
they are-
monsters that are already hard.
Yeah.
They just
Some of them are like
hard
26. like, it's ridiculously high. Like,
Now, we're well aware that the amount of campaigns that get to that level
Or not very many.
is not
no,
very
yeah,
many.
it's very few, yeah.
But if you read up on some of the people that get to that level, hey, they're all level 20. What do I do now? You know, how do you go farther? Well, challenge them.
There's always farther.
Yes. Even if their levels aren't going up, there's other things you can do. And in fact, this Mythic Encounters adventure actually talks about a super awesome reward. Ian, would you like to tell us about the boon of the mythic hero that they put in here?
Wow.
It would be in the PDF.
Obviously.
Oh, I didn't. I saw you had the show notes up. I was like, yeah, take a drink here.
Alrighty.
Page 6.
We're doing it. We're almost there.
Boon of the Mythic Hero. Bearers of this boon are granted a number of benefits. You can attune to one mythic quality item without requiring an attunement slot.
Ooh, that's nice.
That's
pretty
very good. Wow.
The first time you are reduced to 0 hit points, you are instead reduced to 1. And, oh man, imagine that on a barbarian. Or a half-orc barbarian.
We're,
This is like every time he goes to 0, he's like, I refuse to die.
yeah, it just
I'm not so
gets
angry he
right
will
back
die.
up. Gets right back up every time.
Oh, that's funny.
Instead of being reduced to 1 hit point, you gain a number of temporary hit points equal to your maximum.
Nice.
Wait, so you're basically back at full HP?
Yep.
No, but it's temporary.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but still.
So I assume that means you fall
Yeah.
once you back to 0.
And
so
then-
combat's over.
Right.
And then you can perform mythic actions as long as you have the temp HP from that feature. Mythic action. At the end of any turn in combat except your own, you can take a single action, choosing from attack, cast spell, dodge, or hide, or move up to your feet without provoking.
Nice.
But
It
it's
is
once per long
Wow.
rest.
limited to once per long rest. Now, basically, this feature for defeating a godlike creature, you get a power that essentially helps you stay alive and is treated as a mythic action. You basically get a mythic trait. But wait, there's more.
Mythic resilience. When you fail a saving throw, you can choose to succeed instead.
That's badass.
That's a legendary action for a player.
Once per long
Or
rest.
legendary resistance.
Yeah, but that's still badass.
Yeah, just like, I charm you. Ha ha. Nope. That's the
Could you
Luke
imagine
Skywalker
like
laser scene.
Could you imagine like fighting like a dragon and it uses like its breath weapon and like it's obviously like coning or like to you, right? You're just like,
that's
oh, it's
cool.
time, and you're just like, not this time. You just do like one of these and you just like start running towards it. You're like, this isn't how I'm dying.
All right, and
That'd be so badass.
Oh,
and
wait.
There's still more.
two more things actually.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
gosh.
The next thing is Mythic Casting. When you cast a spell with the Mythic tag, you can cast it once without expending a spell slot.
Once per long rest.
Huh.
So, what is that just revealed to you guys?
I can cast whisk twice.
Well, there's mythic spells. There's an entire section dedicated to very powerful spells.
Oh, I didn't even think of that part. I was like,
It says mythic spell, but I guess you could. It says with the mythic tag, so I don't know
Yeah.
if that's for balance.
But the big asterisk at the end though is once you're reduced to 0 hit points and gain temporary hit points in this way, you can't do this again until 10 days have passed.
So that's that makes sense.
Once a week, people. Once a week. So,
What's a 10 day?
yeah, isn't that a week? There's 10 days in a month.
Yep,
Okay. So was I right or wrong?
you're right.
Okay. Just
Is it-
you're reiterating. I got you.
1 week in universe, not real time human week. That's
Oh,
7 days
yeah.
long.
Gotcha. All right, so there is a lot of content in this.
What is this?
They have backgrounds called the Mythic Ascendant, which is really great, which basically gives you a feature called Destined for Greatness, which I think is really awesome.
You're the best.
Austin, would you like to tell us about it?
Holy cow.
Nothing's gonna ever keep me down.
So we're gonna start with the flavor text up there because that looks cool. It said that heroes aren't born, they're forged. While there is truth to this saying, some are connected to an event that defined their childhood, one foretelling a terrible threat to come. You have been groomed to confront that looming future. So it pretty much seems almost like the soldier background. You get athletics survival, you
Yeah.
get vehicle, land.
It is very
um,
similar now that you mention it.
Yeah,
But this is where it gets different.
the feature right
The
here.
featured.
Which is called Destined for Greatness. Those who would see you confront and defeat the greater threat coming your way have spread news far and wide. There is a hero of destiny who will face this evil head on. That's you, unfortunately. Thanks to this legend, wherever you go, people are willing to help you. You can maintain a modest lifestyle for free as long as you are in a village or populated area. By the way, this is anywhere.
Yeah.
You could be in like a total like bandit camp and they're like, wait, no, wait, this guy's good. We like
He's
him.
gonna save us later.
He's gonna guys, hear me out.
Do not shank this guy.
Dude, we can't. No.
Oh man, that's so.
I see you,
hilarious.
Billy. Do you know who this is? The look in your eye says no.
This is Raven the Crow, man.
Billy, are you just trying to rob the guy you just saw take down a dragon by himself?
Billy, let's think about this real quick. We've talked about this before, actually.
Billy's not very bright.
Yeah.
They also have a prophetic event, which basically
I love
legend
prophecies.
started with a specific event in your life, so you can pick one of these. My favorite one right now is no one knows who your parents were. You were abandoned but protected by a goodly monster.
I thought it said godly
That's what I
monster,
did too.
and I was like,
I read-
holy
That's how I read
shit.
that previously, so now I'm a little let down by that.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was a godly
We
monster.
can change it. Who cares?
But the idea of a character being raised by a monster who wasn't good is going to have a different outlook on races than somebody who wasn't, which I think is great
Mm-hmm.
and ties into one of the changes that they're making going forward with.
I was
evil
raised by a
races.
dragon. Best dad ever.
Well, I like
So-
that fifth one, too.
What's that
It
one?
says, a sickness was taking people in a distant land, a curse that wasn't broken until you arrived. You're not sure why it stopped, but you became a local hero that day. That's kind of
Nice.
cool. Like,
I like
imagine, like, a pandemic,
Yeah, right.
and this guy just shows up, and it's just like the pandemic just stops. Could you imagine that? Like
Yeah, that's awesome.
How could you not think of yourself as like a deity by that point? It's like,
Right?
I just stopped a plague by existing. I don't know what happened, but it's cool.
I'm gonna fix your notes here. So before we're now gonna move on to they do give you details on how to create your own mythic monsters in Mythic Encounters. We're not gonna get into that
That's
much,
awesome.
but they give you all those tools you need. Instead, we're gonna go right to Ian, and he's gonna tell us about the monster he picked for us to talk about while I fix Austin's stuff here.
All right. First off,
Takes time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I picked the monster Unit 0.
Which, by the way, before I even read anything, instantly made me think of Evangelion.
Basically, it's more or less based off of the Mayroot, which is a mechanical creature. They're all crafted identically. The creature is a hulking construction with many layers of armor, similar to a golem, save for a singular organic eye in the center of its torso, just below where the humanoid would normally have a head. Lower than the eye is an arcane disc, with the instructions that Mayroot needs to follow inscribed upon it. Unit 0 is the first of its kind, having only known success in its endeavors.
Shit.
Yeah. So, first of all, this monster's already got an interesting story and lore. Never mind the fact that it's a large construct with flying and hover abilities.
Holy shit.
At CR 21.
Okay. And this creature is designed to enforce contracts and chase down contract breakers. Unit 0 has a lair that is centered around its current target.
Oh, jeez.
I'm sorry, one more time?
Okay. When it's given a target, its lair forms around the target.
It has a portable lair.
That's so dope.
That is the
That
coolest
is
thing
so-
ever.
Ideal. Obey. Bond. My lair has no meaning other than to fulfill my directives. Flaw. The words of a contract are all that matters. It does not matter if those signing it understand what they are signing. And the other reason why I picked this is, think about this for a second. This is a CR21 creature. And it works for somebody.
Oh, no. Who does it work
Jesus.
for?
I didn't think about that part.
This is like Terminator, right?
It's basically Flying Terminator.
Oh, jeez.
Dum, dum, dum.
So what makes this thing so dangerous?
So cool.
What are some of its lair effects?
Yeah, I want to know some of this.
It looks like...
That sounds awesome.
creature's lair centered upon it has its speed half. So it instantly slows everyone down.
Just the target.
Just the initial target, I think, right? It doesn't, and not the thing in the entire, not everyone in it, right?
So this is under regional effects. It says the regional effects containing Unit Zero's lair is warped by its magic, which creates one or more of the following effects. So wherever it targets this lair to be, they're under these effects.
Oh.
Which is everyone's slowed. The
Fuck.
Creature's lair is centered upon has disadvantage on strength and dexterity ability checks and saving throws. And the creature's lair is centered upon, the creature that the lair is centered upon has an illusory eyeball constantly floating above their... I see you!
This eyeball is roughly the size of their head. That's a big fucking
They just,
eyeball.
like, run, no matter where they run, it's just like following them. That's really cool. It's like a target above your head.
Yeah, I think that's the idea, unfortunately for them.
So what are some of these lair actions?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Alright, lair actions. Let's take a look here. Which is not to be mistaken for
Regional
mythic
effects.
actions.
Or legendary actions.
Yeah,
with
this
all
is
of which
just
it
the
has.
layer. This is just its portable layer. It just shoots at you.
Oh, I see it's got legendary resistance, not legendary actions. That's okay, though.
Oh yeah, that also has a correct number of resistances and immunities.
Well, because it's a construct too.
Yeah.
That's no bueno.
That comes with all of its
That's
own
no
shit
bueno
already.
for everybody.
Wait, lair actions. While within its lair, Unit 0 can cast Sanctuary, but only upon the creature its lair is centered upon.
Huh.
And inside the lair, Unit 0 can cast Zone of Truth, but only affects the creature its lair is centered on.
So basically, it targets somebody, and the lair pops up around them? Is that how it works?
Yep.
Okay. That's dangerous.
And while in its lair, Unit 0 can cast Power Word Stun, but only target creatures. But once again, only targets the creature its lair is centered on.
Right.
Ah.
So it doesn't affect everyone in its lair, just the one that's targeted by
Just
it.
one poor SOB.
Oh, man, this guy's boned.
See,
Did it?
Because a lot of layer actions typically hurt everybody, right? But this guy's layer action is just turbo fuck the one guy.
Yeah, like dragons and stuff, the layer shakes and shit falls on them and
So
stuff.
this is just, I have a laser beam that's going to fuck you up. And it has a variety of effects.
Doesn't mess around. And it has some really good combat abilities here, too.
I would hope so.
Of course, it has plane shift. That's cool.
It can just,
like,
it
run
can
away.
just dip out whenever it wants.
Or
That's,
when you plane shift, can you take somebody with you?
I think you can take unwilling creatures.
I haven't read that in a while, but also it's
I'll look it up.
Its spell DC is 20, by the way.
So I don't think it matters if you're unwilling. You're probably gonna get fucked
Correct.
up. What is it? Plane shift?
Yeah, it's plane shift.
Let me look it up.
Of course, you mentioned it already. It has legendary resistances and magic resistances.
Yeah, it has advantage on saving throws against spells.
Nice. So, what are some of its regular actions? I mean, it has some basic, melee attacks and stuff.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he can totally just like banish you by punching you in the face.
Yep.
And you have to survive his spell DC with a charisma saving throw. So every barbarian out there is fucked. Like, he is sent straight to the negative realm. His soul is completely depleted, and he is non-existent. Like,
that is banished to the shadow realm.
It's just, and then that's it. That's the fight.
Yep. It's slam. It's not like a truck and does two of them, but it also has Blazing Edict, which recharges on the 5 or a 6.
Ooh.
Arcane Energy emanates in a 60-foot cube. Every creature in the area takes 45 radiant damage.
Oh my god.
Each creature that takes any of this damage must succeed. No, how it says you take the damage.
Yeah, there's. No, you just take damage.
Yeah, you just take
There's
the
no
40,
save against it.
There's not even like a save. There's no hit. It just happens.
Wow, that's savage.
It's basically a fucking uber breath weapon.
Now there is a save, which is a wisdom save, but that's to see if you're stunned or not. if
Not
get
whether
hit.
you took the physical the damage, right?
Yeah. That's,
So-
holy shit.
So I mentioned Evangelion. This also kind of reminds me. You guys ever watch Zoids at all?
Yeah.
They got the
while ago,
big
yeah.
giant dragon dinosaur thing
so awesome.
that opens up its maw and this just bing just wipes out everything. That's what I envision this Blazing Edict being. Just a massive burst so wide you can't escape it.
It's like that typical anime moment where it like strikes the beam on the ground and then like a second later explosions follow behind it and you're just like,
Everything
oh,
is decimated.
everything's gone and on fire.
All right, what else we got?
I got Justify.
Ugh.
Target up to 2 creatures that it can see within 60 feet. Each target must succeed a DC 20 Charisma saving throw or be teleported to a teleportation circle in the Hall of Concordance in the Sigil.
Where?
I have no idea.
It's a city in the Forgotten Realms.
Oh, well.
In
there
the
you go.
where realms?
Forgotten Realms?
Yep. Sigil.
Oh. Okay.
A target automatically fails if it's incapacitated. If either target is teleported in this way, Unit 0 teleports with it to the circle.
Ha, you can't run. It really has a bunch of abilities to take the person from point A to point B.
Yeah, and it's meant to just straight up assassinate you. This is a perfect assassin. It is Terminator that can fly. Literally. But with lasers.
But it's also got abilities that can take the target back alive, too. Because really, with plane shift and justify, sure it's gonna mess them up, but it can force them just to take them to this hall with a bunch of other of these unit 0, 1, 0, or 2, 3, 4 waiting around in a circle.
Can we also just talk, this is just Unit 0? That also alludes to the fact there's more than one of these bastards that are also just different numbers.
He was the first.
He was the prototype.
So if the
got all the good
prototype
stuff.
is this strong, oh my god. So now
They got all
that
the good stuff before it got mass produced.
now that we've got all of that out of the way,
We still have Mythic Actions.
what are the mythic actions?
Yeah, these are just regular. Oh my god.
Yeah, it can do 3 of them at the end of another creature's turn. And it regains its Mythic Actions at the start of its turn.
What is the condition to trigger the mythic actions, though?
Yeah,
Only one Mythic object can be used at a time, and only at the end of another creature's turn. Not its turn.
Okay. Any other creature's turn.
Yep. Spin disc. The disc in Unit 0's chest spins faster, generating lightning all around it.
Ooh.
The next creature that makes a melee or range attack against it takes 30 damage.
Ow.
You just take 30 damage.
Once again, there's no
save.
save.
Hopefully you can resist it.
Ow.
Probably not, though.
See truth.
Ow.
His eye does around, scanning the area around it. All creatures within 120 feet of it begin to sparkle and glow. Affected creatures shed dim light in a 10-foot radius. Oh, it's fairy fire.
It is fairy fire.
It's quite literally fairy fire.
Ah,
I like
but
that.
it hits everybody.
Within 120 feet.
Oh gosh.
It's literally like
You can't hide from him.
it's literally like if you were like playing Skyrim and you cast Detect Life and Undead at the same time, but it's permanent. Wait, is it permanent?
No, it lasts until
No,
it's
until it's
next mythic action.
So it expires pretty quickly.
Basically, it just means you can't go invisible. You'll get advantage.
Zero uses, but he can keep it on there because he doesn't have to use another mythic action.
He doesn't have to.
Yeah. So he can literally and if you run away or plane shift, he still knows where you are.
And Veritas.
Nice.
It can attempt to recharge his Blazing Edict action. If it's already recharged, it can use it instead.
You know what we didn't touch on that I see is really cool? The Mythic Upgrade here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we
It
did.
says if Unit 0 is reduced to 0 hit points, a new Merut is crafted in the Hall of Coordinates and is sent as an immediate replacement to the unit. Immediately gains 432 hit points.
Which is its maximum.
It's max hit points.
Yep.
You bring this thing down to 0. You celebrate. Its body is discombobulated. Your players are cheering. They're worn out, and instantly you see its parts just fall off, and then like teleport. New parts attach, come out of the sky, and the thing gets back up and blows you away again. Oh my god, that's like 2 fights, hard fights back to back.
Yep.
Yeah. It also gets it back on a short and long rest. So if you don't manage to kill it that time and you give it like a half hour wait, it comes
Coming
back.
for you. Which I think is awesome if you think about it, because
Which also makes sense for this. Yeah.
yeah, because it's a robot. If you could, as a DM, have this thing being introduced throughout the campaign, maybe it's hunting people or specific groups of people, like when in the X-Men they had the giant
Sentinels?
the Sentinels chasing down the mutants, right? You totally could have these things running around all the time and have the players encounter one maybe early on where they really struggle with it, but you don't trigger the upgrade right away. And it's not till late, because you know they're not going to hang around.
Well, yeah.
So maybe it doesn't
Should also
upgrade.
like nerf the fuck out of it.
Well, yeah.
Because there's
maybe,
no
maybe
way.
not use the mythic actions if they're not quite high enough level.
Or
but-
like maybe lower its health pool, saying it's like it was already damaged or something. I don't know. You'd have to work pretty hard to make it not fuck up your players.
So overall, that's a pretty dope ass monster. Once
Yeah,
again,
that was awesome.
Yep.
they're high levels. They're meant to be challenging.
They're meant to just fuck you up.
Yeah, and
They're basically like MMO raid bosses.
yes,
With
Yeah.
like, but you need like 60 players for those, and honestly, you kind of need like 8 players for these because there's the action economy this thing has is absurd.
yes, that's part of it.
Yep.
That's
Which
what
is
they
great,
Get, they
yeah.
get away with doing that though, because that's part of the winning condition.
Yeah.
Winning condition in this game is all based on based on your action economy. So giving them legendary, lair, region, and mythic actions offsets
Yep.
that.
And it's also worth pointing out on the side note that all the creatures we in here are basically upgraded versions of monsters or creatures already in the monster manual.
Yes.
Yes,
Pretty much.
Oh, okay. On a side note, I just looked up the Marut that this is based off of. Those are challenge rating 25.
Ooh, jeez.
Oh my, why? Why? Why?
That's awesome and scary. I must say
Yeah.
about it. So that's a really good choice. I like that, and I like that it's a construct.
Okay, so it's not as good as the base monster is based off of. It's the prototype, but it's still, it's like I don't want to fight one of those. But it's also not. But the Maruts are not mythical creatures either. So.
yeah, so it's like a almost more sentient than the others, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it's able to do more things and understands how its body works better, maybe. I don't know.
All right, so moving on, why don't you tell us which monster you picked out here, Austin? Do you
So-
need me to turn that a little more?
Yeah, that's fine right there. So I chose oh boy, why did I choose one with a hard name? Yinogu.
I would say that's good.
So it is, I believe it's one of the demons, one of the greater demons, but I don't remember exactly, but stretching to a full height of 14 feet, Yinogu is the Lord of Gnolls and looks exactly like a giant version of their kind, desiring nothing more than pure and utter destruction. He leads great packs of gnolls and hyenas across the plains to devour foes and breed new chaos.
Ooh.
So its ideal is there are only 2 things in existence: prey and me, which is pretty hardcore. Its bond is so many spleens, so little time.
Man, where have I heard that one before? Isn't that from Venom or something similar?
Something similar, I think, yeah. And as far as let Baphomet use his cunning, I have no need for such weakness.
Cunning is a quote. So already this character is interesting because everyone fights low-level gnolls, right? Mm-hmm. But coming up to a boss gnoll,
which is
terrifying
fucking
to look at. By
huge.
The way.
It uses like this weird like.
He's got these skulls on living chains.
Yeah, it looks wild.
It looks awesome.
It looks so crazy.
Yep.
So we're gonna go through its layer real quick, and any battlefield of significant carnage or sufficient carnage, while oh boy.
Do you need me to make it bigger?
Yeah, a little bit. My eyes are not as strong.
I'll press the little button here to zoom in.
There we go. That's better. Yeah, that's a lot better.
Go see a doctor about that?
I probably do. I'm going to be honest. So any battlefield of sufficient carnage, while committed in the presence of Yeenoghu, with the full furor of his army, becomes a lair. I'm starting to notice a lot of layers is just like
mobile
there. Once the horde moves onward, the site loses this curse. Within the abyss also exists a layer of blood sport and death, barren and lifeless. The Death Dells, ruled by Yeenoghu and roamed by his hordes.
I love it.
So let's go through some.
What are some of these lair actions you're talking about?
I love this one. Yeenoghu causes an iron spike 5 feet tall and 1 inch in diameter to burst from the ground at the point he can see within 100 feet of him. Any creature in the space where the spike emerges must make a DC 24 dexterity saving throw. 24 is very high.
Say goodbye to your balls.
Yeah. On a failed save, the creature takes 27 or 68.
At least they get a save.
Yeah, 68 piercing damage. It is impaled on the spike, restraining it. A creature can use an action.
By your sack. Oh, God.
A creature can use an action to remove itself, or a creature it can reach from the spike, ending the restrained condition. It's 5 feet high, so if you're a halfling, sorry, you can't save your buddy. He's stuck there. And if you're a halfling on top of it, hopefully you can jump. Each gnoll or hyena that Yeenoghu can see uses its reaction to move up to its speed.
I like that.
Yep.
That
makes the battle very, very mobile.
And they can run real quick, I'm pretty
very
sure.
Mobile.
Until the next initiative count 20, all gnolls and hyenas within the lair are enraged, causing them to have advantage on melee weapon attack rolls and causing attack rolls to have advantage against them.
So they're reckless, which means they're going to land more hits.
Yeah.
But you're going to land more hits too, so that's fun for a party that likes to cleave through stuff.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure there's like 15 of these guys and like 4 of you.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure anyway. So that's its layer actions. Its regional effects, which are also really fun. I'm starting to notice all of these like regional effects are really cool and they're really unique. It's worked by his magic, creating one or more of the following effects. So, I mean, all of them is fine, I guess. Within 1 mile of the lair, large iron spikes grow out of the ground and stone surfaces. Yeenoghu impales the bodies of the slain on these spikes. A very like Count Dracula.
Vlad the Impaler.
Vlad the Impaler
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is cool because even if the players haven't encountered him yet, walking through an area with spikes coming out of the ground and corpses hanging from them,
which, by the way,
make you think twice about which direction you're walking.
It's also really cool, too, because it can appear on any of these, like, stone surfaces, right? So if there's, like, a monument or statue, and there's just spikes jetting out of it with corpses hanging from it, that's really crazy to think about.
Awesome.
And that's why
himself.
That'd be awesome. See, it's stuff like that, where it's just like, yeah, it's cool.
So much flavor.
Now I'm thinking about, like, in one of the Fate series where one of the summons was Vlad Dracula.
Hell yeah.
And his ability was the concept of impalement.
Just the
I love that shit.
It's called the concept of impalement?
Yep, because the spikes appear anywhere.
Well, okay then.
Beautiful. Predatory.
Get along.
I like this one too. Predatory beasts within 6 miles of the lair become unusually savage, killing far more than what they need for food. Carcasses of prey are left to rot in an unnatural display of wasteful slaughter.
So, once again, this could be a tool, a piece of flavor that draws the adventurers.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're not strong enough to take out Yeenoghu yet, or Yeenoghu. Maybe they get called to deal with this issue, and they find out this demon lord thing is running amok in the area.
And is absolutely slaughtering everything because everything to him is beneath him.
And as they are, they're not strong enough. So now the goal is
They got to build up.
They got to either build up or they got to find a way to outsmart him or get rid of him.
Weaken him, something.
I think that'd be a good one for if you want to do something like this, but your characters aren't going to get to that level. Maybe they find some sort of treasure or trinket or that can weaken him, and you could bring down some of his power, maybe stripping his power in half and having him fight a group at like level 10 or something.
You can always say like an archangel comes down and they just bestow you a ring, and now you suddenly are able to fight this beast, essentially.
Okay.
Because, again, you can always call forth other things to help with big problems, right? The adventurers don't have to solo this fucking thing to be...
They're not the only ones.
Right.
I need to call a guy.
Yeah, it's like...
I know a guy.
Claire's just like, I know a guy. It's like, I swear to God, if you talk about your God, no. My God knows a guy.
Although, it is worth pointing out there are some spells where a cleric can preach their deity, and the deity is like, here's what my service to help you out.
Yeah, like... creatures who rest within 1 mile of the lair must succeed on a DC 24 Wisdom saving throw or gain the following flaw, which can be removed by a Greater Restoration or Wish spell. When Hinogu is defeated, my hunger, it is insatiable. Nothing is off limits, not even the flesh of fallen foes. So even if they kill this thing,
It just makes him mad.
Yeah. Wow.
it's just yeah.
I love that gives flaws to players.
It's rough.
Player
Everything
characters.
about, and we're not even to the actual creature.
All right, now to the stat.
Now
box,
to the
right?
actual stat
That's how it
box.
affects the world around it,
Yeah.
right?
God, its armor's 20.
That's not as high as I would have expected.
It's a challenge rating 24. It can cast a bunch of ridiculous spells, magic resistance, magic weapons. Its hands are magical because why
Has
not?
Rampage, which is when it's reduced to 0, it makes
A melee attack on its turn, and it can take a bonus action to move up its half its speed and make a bite attack when it dies. So it'll still probably take somebody with it, which is fantastic. That'd be a cool way to go down.
Yeah.
So do we want to talk about the Mythic Trait, or do we want to go into
I
the
would
Mythic
say
actions
talk
first?
about the regular abilities briefly, and then the legendary actions, then the mythics.
Okay.
Because that's all going to be important, especially
Yeah.
when we talk about his mythic skill
Yeah.
within.
So it has multi-attack. It has makes 3 flail attacks. If an attack hits, he can cause it to create an additional effect of his choice or at random.
Which are listed here, which
Which
pretty
is
cool.
the attack deals an extra bludgeoning damage. The creature must succeed on a Constitution saving throw, which is DC 17, so not nearly as high as much else.
Right.
But if you fail, you get paralyzed.
That's not great.
So,
And then what's the last one there?
save DC 17 Wisdom saving throw, be affected by the Confusion spell.
Which is dangerous because that can lead the party to attacking each other.
Not good.
Nope.
So honestly, I would only ever pick that one. Just
Yeah,
like,
just-
boom, you're confused. Boom, you're confused. Start beating each other up, my minions.
Yeah, like it's just not paralysis is crazy.
Combined with that flaw, though.
Yeah,
where
it's
there-
just
It could really, the players I feel like could have a lot of fun with that because if that the what is the thing up above that gave them the flaw? Was
the
that
flaw.
A
That was a
effect?
regional effect. Yeah.
So if they fall under this during that fight, and now you've got the confusion, as a player, I would turn from just making a confused attack to, I wonder how your ears taste.
Yeah, this is like, it's like I have this weird bloodlust to absolutely annihilate my once ally. It's like, I'm sorry, dude, but
It wasn't me. It was Inagu.
yeah. Could you imagine an evil character just if you guys never knew he was evil the entire campaign? He just turns it like that. He's like, oh, this
Finally.
actually affects people. I can kill my
It
friends.
can mess everyone up.
Oh man.
All right. What about its legendary action?
So it has 3 legendary actions as charge, which means it can just move up to its speed on your turn.
Which is 50.
That's a lot.
fast.
Yeah, it's whatever. Swat away. Inagu makes a flail attack. If the attack hits, the target must succeed on a DC 24 strength saving throw. It would be pushed 15 feet in a straight line. If the saving throw fails by 5 or more, that's an awesome mechanic, by the way. The target
on the
falls
edge
prone.
of a cliff. Battle on a cliff. Battle on a bridge. If you use this monster
top
with
of a spire.
knockbacks, yes.
Something.
With not abilities and knockbacks like this, you need to make that effective. The top of a spire is genius.
I love the idea of a top of a
giant
spire
spear
too.
surrounded by spears like Mortal Kombat.
I love the idea of a spire too because you can say that's a monument and it was not as filled with spikes as it is now and be like, oh, it's like we call it the spiked spire now. Why is that? Oh no, just grew spikes one day. We're not happy about it. Can you fix it? How would we fix it?
Oh, that's awesome.
And then that's not. It's those are 2 decent ones, but then it has savage, which costs 2 actions, of course. Yunagu makes a bite attack against each creature within 10 feet of them.
Each creature. So he's just like darting around, boom, 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 biting people.
Yeah. So awesome. I love just crazy shit like this.
Okay, so now the big stuff, right?
Yep, now we're on to the stuff.
That's the Yanagu's regular abilities, but we've got mythic abilities to go with this.
Yep. If Yanagu is a mythic encounter, he can choose from the options below as additional legendary actions while he possesses temporary hit points from his Beast Within.
Now, what is this Beast Within?
Yeah, I guess we're going to have to go back real quick.
Yeah.
Beast Within.
Disgusting.
Yeah, okay. I figured it was. If Yanagu is reduced to 0 hit points, he is reduced to 1 hit point and then becomes incredibly feral and unpredictable. Yanagu immediately gains 333 temporary hit points. I do not believe so. Was it?
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, it was his max. Okay, just kidding. He gains temporary max hit points. While he possesses these temporary hit points, he gains the following benefits. At the end of his turn, if he dealt damage since the start of his turn, he regains 15 hit points. Okay, that's good.
He can slowly heal himself.
Yeah. That's why they did temporary hit points. That's great. I like that.
That's beautiful.
Whenever he deals damage, he has advantage on his next attack roll, and creatures attacking Yanagu have advantage to him. So he's also reckless.
Yep.
That's also really bad for your players because
like
of the flails and stuff.
Looks like he gains rage too.
Yeah, he has resistance to, hitting things against him because why not? And any critical hit against Yanagu becomes a normal hit as if he were wearing adamantine armor. Good luck. So your advantage honestly doesn't mean much because advantage is really just to give you that extra chance at criticals, but this doesn't matter to him. He'll just tank it.
What do you think about that, Ian?
Savage as fuck. So, the mythic actions while this Beast Within is going on, we have one that's called Call Out. Yanagu calls his next attack, announcing it aloud. If his next weapon attack hits, it is automatically a critical hit.
I love that.
That is so hardcore.
Like, I can see him pointing his big flail as it's dangling, like a dowel rod at somebody, and then it stops and he says, I will smash your chest in with my flail of doom.
And then it hits, and you can just say, it caved your chest in. I'm sorry, dude.
I love that because he literally is telling the players exactly what's going to happen. So shame on the player if the player doesn't dodge.
Yeah, like...
told you what he was going to do.
The next mythic action is reinforcements. Yanagu vomits a Null Fang or Yanagu into an adjacent unoccupied space.
What CR rating monster is that? Do we know?
Not off the top of my head.
I think it's pretty hard. I think it's at least a level.
Relatively far, yeah. Which, being
able to spew out monsters is just awesome. That's better. That's cooler than any wave mechanic.
Oh, absolutely.
Let me see here. Oh, no, fine. I mean, CR4.
Oh, that's not bad.
Okay, no.
But if he's
still annoying,
them out every round.
They are though.
Yeah, and you can do 3 of these a turn.
Oh no!
So you can spit out 3 of these, and they all gang up on one dude because they're also savage. Remember, they get advantage as well.
So the damage would be less, but there'd be more of it.
Yes.
I love it.
And also higher chance of critical strikes from these vomited creatures.
That's awesome.
And then, of course, he gets the sweeping flail, which costs both or 2 mythic actions out of his 3. Yanagu makes a flail attack against each creature within 15 feet of him.
You know what I envision? What do you envision?
I just want to I don't know. I just want to imagine he just whips this around like
just do it around the world. Heads go flying.
Because this thing has like 3 flails on his flail thing, so it's pretty tough. So
they give a list of some rewards here too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure what these actually do. I didn't see this.
So they actually select some magic items that they recommend.
Oh, you get the flail.
So click on that. See what that is.
Wonderful.
So you got to get fat loots with this bad boy. So
oh my lord!
Cursed flail of savagery.
Wow, this has a lot. Oh, you literally get his multi attack, so you can choose whether that creature is paralyzed or if they get the confusion spell on them.
Extra damage.
Or extra damage. Wow, that's really good.
+3 mythic weapon requires.
And it can crit on a 19 or 20.
Yeah, you did 0 hit a few fun stuff too.
What's that? Yeah, some good stuff. Yeah, I didn't check.
I didn't see that. Yeah, we'll have to look at that too. Jeez.
Overall, what do you guys think so far?
These are crazy.
Do these feel like they would be epic fights and engagement? I'm taking my mouse.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. I mean, I'm always down for like my theme when it comes to like big bad evil guys. I want them to just absolutely like one man army crush these poor saps. Like that's always been my shtick.
Wow.
And luckily these guys do this, all of them.
I am glad to hear you say that.
Because Because like I want this guy to be like, because obviously they have to deal with like the action economy and stuff, right? So like I like the fact that I love the charge ability, right? So he moved just sprints. Like, could you imagine like, because all this happens in a relative of like 6 seconds. It moved 50 feet one direction in 6 seconds, and then within that same seconds moves another 100 feet in a different direction, completely different.
That makes the combat seem alive and engaging and dynamic, and that's so important.
Or like it's like crawling up walls and stuff, and it's hanging below. And
one of the reasons that I struggle to do the squares anymore is because I feel like I lose that high mobility vision when I'm running a game. Now, I know that's not true. It's just something in my mind.
Right.
I know that I'm still moving stuff on squares, but for me, for instance, the game we just ran, one of the monsters that they fought, the Minotaur, which was awesome, by the way. You guys did a great job. Was our Savage Minotaur that I created for our patrons in a previous episode. It charged toward and basically steamrolled the guy they were supposed to be protecting. Now, mechanically, he didn't do anything, but I got to have a lot of fun with that because I was just flavoring it for theater of the mind, and I have to go that extra mile to make sure they remember it. And so fights like this that are all about that, for me, are the best for theater of the mind. Mechanic.
I also looked up the one of the items you can get from Unit 0, the Unerring Maul, which is a hammer crafted from a Mayroot's arm.
It's just a robotic arm that you just beat people with?
Hell yeah.
Actually, its ability is you don't roll to attack. You choose to hit automatically.
So you just hit?
Yep.
But you can't.
Is it weaker, or
I'm assuming that means you don't get a critical because you're not rolling.
Is there any
for the
drawback
crit.
to that?
Well, Austin just said.
Yeah, you can't roll for crits.
Oh, okay.
So you get the guaranteed hit, but I mean, your consistent damage is
and
pretty
you can knock
good.
back enemies 5 feet.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
But it doesn't give you any other magical bonuses.
See, I totally.
Does it have reach?
It's a maul, so.
Damn it.
No. All right.
I'm gonna say because then if you push him back and then you get him into the 10 or the 15-foot range and you have polearm master and you gotta
Nice.
But no, it's not. Which is good because that'd break the fucking game probably.
I mean, auto hit's still nice, though.
Right.
So.
Right. Auto hit for free.
So I think that'll do it for talking about monsters. I picked one out, but we spent a lot. We got a lot of good conversation out of the two, and there's over 20 of these things.
Yeah, there's.
I don't know how many, but
I know, and for those who are running Descent into Avernus like we are, there is a Zariel one. I haven't looked at it just in case, because I didn't want to oh no.
Hey, you guys, what was a request I made of you at the end of our session Friday?
Bring your old character sheets back from our last campaign.
Yeah, that.
What level are they?
12.
11, I think mine is.
What level is Zariel?
I don't know. Fucking high as hell. I don't remember. 20 something, I think. Right?
I'm excited.
That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I really shocked him when I told him to bring their old characters for our next.
See, now that he alluded that way, it's like, is Raven the Crow gonna have to fucking fight Zariel? Oh my god, I'm gonna get eviscerated probably. It's gonna be fun though, if that's the case.
I'm gonna get demolished, but it'll be fun.
I'm gonna love it every second of it, because I'm gonna be like running around like I'm gonna have to climb this fucking wall over here just to make sure, and then she teleports or some shit, and I'm like, hi, you look much more beautiful up close.
Garmor and Joram are 12. Malachite and Raven are 11.
Okay.
So I'm still gonna get boned.
Make your character 12 for me, please. Thank you.
Okay, I can do that. I think all I get
See
is
how that works? I don't need him to fight 1,000 things to go up a level. I just tell him and it happens. That's why I like Miles.
Well, I mean, you can even say like there was like
And
some
it puts you on par
time
with everyone
skip
else.
and everything else. So it's like I don't know.
I'll figure something out.
Yeah, I find
story-wise.
some of the arguments against milestones because some players complain it gives the DM too much power. But yes.
I was like,
It lets you get through the campaign quicker.
Isn't that
And better.
And it also means you don't fight random creatures just to get XP so you can level up.
Damn it! I need 1 XP. Let's go kill a squirrel.
See, what I
True
love,
story.
I know, I get so,
Tangent.
but Milestone to me is just so much better because in what world is like some thief who is just extremely acrobatic, is all about the locking picks and stuff, pickpocketing, and they just chose not to be super into their combat stats, right? How do you reward them?
Definitely no rules for it as far as I can tell specifically.
And that's so dumb to me. What if they broke into some high security vault, right? How can you not reward them besides the loot?
Well, some RPGs do give you experience
but
just
not
for
5e.
encounters.
Yeah, and that's just
4E did that though. I think 4E broke down combat versus skill challenges and stuff.
Or even for RP encounters if you succeed. So.
Oh, okay. Anyways, we're going on a tangent.
yeah.
I agree. Anyways, so moving on to the next part. I want to talk. They have a massive list of spells, of mythic spells, and surprisingly, they're not all level 9, 9th level spells. Some of them are much lower level.
Baphomet perfect form sounded cool. I don't know what it does, but it sounds awesome. I want to know. I want to be Baphomet.
You embody the cursed magic of Baphomet to alter your form into one of his creations. Until the spell ends, you can't cast spells, and you gain the following benefits.
I'm so about that. That's like demon form.
Yeah,
you get demon form.
I would say that you could even give him turn you into like a Minotaur, because you know.
Because that's what he is. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think he's a giant demon Minotaur, isn't he?
That's so awesome.
I know the Minotaurs worship him. Anyways, that's not what I want to talk about.
Yeah, that's fine.
I picked a specific one because I don't want to go through all of them. They're all very cool, but there is one specifically I wanted to talk about because I feel like necromancy doesn't get the love that it deserves.
Absolutely, 100%.
And I think this is a phenomenal capstone ability for necromancers called the Voice of the Undead. It's an instant spell in a 120-foot radius.
That's a lot.
That's a big area. You let out a deep and booming voice so loud that it could wake the dead.
Which it does.
Each undead within the area of this spell must succeed a charisma saving throw or become charmed by you, allowing you to command it and act on your behalf.
Hey, Strahd.
That's I'm good for you.
Holy shit.
That would be awesome.
You just command Strahd, and he's like, my lord. And you're just like, I didn't think I'd ever get to this part.
On each of your turns, you can use a bonus action to mentally command any creature charmed by this spell if the creature is within 120 feet of you. If you control multiple creatures, you command any or all of them at the same time, using the same command to each one. So, attack. That's pretty damn clear to me.
Yeah. Kill.
You decide what the action the creature will take, move during its next turn, and blah, blah, blah. Basically, it allows you to have an undead army. Now, there is a catch.
2.
Is it 2?
Once given the order, the creature continues to follow until the task is complete. Undead with CR 3 or greater can repeat the saving throw once every 24 hours, ending the charm condition on the successful. Which one did I miss?
Yep. The components.
Oh, yeah. It requires a
finger bone.
Finger bone of a fiend worth 250 gold pieces, which is consumed. So you do have a limit. But guess what I'd be doing in my spare time? Hunting fiends.
Yeah, like, absolutely.
Going on. What do you do for your 10 downtime? I hunt fiends. How many of these can I get?
I plane shift to Everness and kill fiends for their parts.
Yes. Which is an awesome, I think we've talked about it on the show, using components as a quest hooks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just one of them, and I like that one most because I feel like there's not enough of those tailored to the necromancer tradition.
Notice how they don't have to have like permission from like someone's like son or daughter or some shit, and you
came up on the show one
yeah,
time.
like you don't have to like find their family and be like, hey, yes, I'd like to use your grandfather's bones to bring him back to life so I can bring him with me.
That's funny.
I'm trying to raise a family, man.
That's hilarious.
Oh, it's funny.
Overall, I really like this spell. I love the spell list. Like I said, they're not all 9th level, but there is a massive collection of them.
Which I'm always down for.
Now I'm thinking about that one meme. It's so hard to raise a family. Necromancer. Not when they're very close to each other.
That's the best meme ever. And to follow that, there's actually a massive magic item selection.
As we figured out from even just beating the monsters.
Some of the examples we just talked about. It's funny you mentioned Baphomet because I picked a weapon that I thought fit that theme very well. Called the Bardiche of Endless Maze. Am I saying that right? Is it Bardiche?
I think it's Bardiche.
Bardiche?
I believe.
Your guess is as good as mine.
This menacing Bardiche was carried by Baphomet, the Horned King. Its blade consists of rough edge and large shards of jagged metal fused into random places. Gives you a +3 bonus to attack and damage, and whenever it hit an object with it, the hit is a critical.
You basically get the shatter spell on your weapon.
Yeah, kaboom, bitch.
I'm gonna blow up this crate.
It has 12 charges in the following property, which is interesting. If you expend the last charge, though, it does potentially teleport back to the endless maze. What is this feature you can use? Banish! Because we know how much I love Banish! When you hit a creature with this weapon, you expend a charge to have the creature succumb to the effects of the maze spell.
Oh my
If this
lord.
hit was a critical, you do not need to expend a charge.
That's...
I may have made Justin hate the spell with a passion.
I don't hate it. I've just included it in my game. Because this is the second item. This is one of 2 items in this show notes that's going to appear in my campaign. And that's got me excited.
Oh, so you're gonna let him use it, and then we get banished with the maze spell, right? That's the idea?
I didn't say that at all. Nope.
Wait.
I would never use
is there a
Banish against
save?
you. What? I'm sorry, does it say anything about a save?
No, there's no save. You just...
That's weird.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wait, oh no, it's... Unless the maze spell, I guess, has a save. I don't know.
I would assume.
Hopefully.
If the hit is a critical.
12 charges is a lot to not have any... Well, mythic weapons, I guess.
Anyway, so I love the idea of mythic weapons. There's a plethora of them. Did you guys get a chance to kind of poke around any? What did you think about them overall?
Yep. I think they're pretty good. And actually, the creature you picked, Breastheart, which is a phoenix, was kind of fun too.
Yeah, we're running. I'm trying to keep better time frames.
Okay.
So
Yeah, but
Maze, concentration, 8th level spell, up to 10 minutes.
8th level spell.
Banish a creature you see within range into a labyrinth demiplane. The target remains there for the duration or until it escapes the maze.
So there's no
It's just
save.
full of Minotaurs, right?
There's no save.
Well, no, it's a DC 20 intelligence check.
There's no save.
I might as well not.
Tell me one player that's not a wizard that has intelligence as not their dump stat. You won't find any.
Nope. Man, Justin's
Bye,
a real
barbarian.
dick.
Ooh, these barbarians can't succeed at this.
Anyways, overall, what is your guys' thoughts of Mythic Encounters?
I
stuff.
fucking love it. Dude, we gotta play more high-level campaigns because I want to fight all of these things.
Well,
I genuinely
I did
do.
just allude to the fact that the reason I'm covering this is some of this content's going to be in our Avernus campaign,
And you heard the campaign I'm pitching for our next one.
Yeah,
which
so
is Fate Stay Night. Are you DMing?
Why do you think I was talking about it for?
Well, everyone talks all the time about things we should do. But
Yeah.
if you're DMing, hell yeah, I'll run a Fate Stay Night game. Wait,
Fuck yeah.
do we get to
Wait.
pick our heroes, or is it randomized? Or are we the heroes?
Well,
see, that's
Sir,
where I'm
that's-
confused.
that's what I was talking about, though.
Yeah, that's gonna be the session 0. I think is what you're
let's,
alluding to.
let's
Yeah.
not do
So
I
we'll-
think it's a great idea because I don't have to DM, and I am all
Okay.
for that. So let's do it.
And I think
Yeah.
I was talking about, like, when I pitched the idea later on of doing an entire episode on adapting other universes or works to 5th edition.
I'm down for that.
And I'm totally okay with
Let's
that.
do that.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yes.
Right.
I'm working hard to keep a timetable today. Do you know why? Because I suck at it and I need practice.
I suck at it too. It's okay.
sorry, what? I didn't-
I said I suck at it too. It's
Oh,
okay.
that's
So Ian.
So before, I think that'll do it for our main topic
Oh yeah, we
today.
gotta say that.
Mythic Encounters. I want to thank the team that put this thing together. It really makes my dice tremble. It's really exciting. And I am already incorporating some of this stuff into my campaigns. I really love DMsguild when it comes to resources because I love including stuff because I don't give out many magic items, but I loved including talent options,
Yeah.
right?
See, I like that because it's player options. Player options are always
More stuff for you guys.
Yeah.
I'm cool like that.
And like a magic item, it's cool, but like unless the magic item consistently does like has some sort of ability, it doesn't
Like magic.
like it's not just like some static buff is what I'm saying. Like it
plus
feels
one
less
sword.
yeah, or like I have a cloak of protection that gives me 1 AC. Cool. It's not like the talent options where it's like I actively activate this ability to give myself some sort of boost. So I have to think about when to use it and
like
it just
that.
adds more.
All
But
right.
anyway, that's
So that'll do it for our main topic today. Before we move on to our under tips and tricks, we have another gift to give away.
Yes, we have from Jeff Stevens, Scourge of the Nightingale, Part 1, A Song of Love. A masked menace terrifies the region, raiding villages to fund her devious plan. Unknowingly, the adventurers stumble into her most recent evil scheme, the kidnapping of a famous performer known as Devon Artists. Their mission is to deliver a ransom and collect Devon. Though, as in most cases, not all goes as planned.
I'm going to say it every time. It says most cases, which means there is a universe where it does succeed.
I don't believe that at all.
I want to believe.
Who is our winner today, Ian?
Our winner today is Grim Punks, and that's Punks with an X.
Woo! Congratulations!
You did it.
If you didn't win, have no fear. Head on over to critacademy.com/Jeff Stevens and check out some of his fat loots. You can get
Villains in Layers 3 and Encounters on the Savage Seas 3.
thank you for free.
Free.
I closed my notes for something else. And
I'd say, you know what?
How'd you do that?
We're here.
it's fine. It's not
Thankfully, we're co-hosts, and we
got my
could
back?
tend to pick some stuff
got my
up.
back. I appreciate it. All right, now I'm gonna play our theme music because I haven't heard it in a while, and I want to. Maybe we'll see if.
And now, what you've all been waiting for, our Unearthed Tips and Tricks segment, where we bring you new and reusable material for both players and DMs.
Can I say I just totally appreciate him dancing without hearing the music?
I can find a beat. I was a musician for over 10 years, so I'd hope I'd be able to do that.
I'm really excited for our character concept today. Austin, would you like to tell us about it?
Absolutely. I love character concepts because I'm sucky at them. Our character concept today is the Eternal Defender. Wizards of the Coast?
It came from a 4 ebook that I told you, I
Wow.
scavenged my 4 ebooks. I spent a lot on those books. I'm going to get as much money out of them as I can.
Absolutely.
As much use out of them.
You have taken the Defender's... Oh, you got something?
No.
Okay. You have taken the Defender's ideal to heart. This devotion might have started at childhood, when you stood up to those weaker than you. Perhaps the ideal of the mighty protecting the weak was culturally instilled in you, as it is in all good-hearted dwarves. Whatever the case, rather than using your strength and power solely for personal gain, unlike some people, you willingly placed yourself in harm's way to make sure that others had a chance to survive and thrive. At the core of your personality, personal morals, not personality, I guess same thing, and beliefs is the certainty that it is your job to protect your allies. When among them, you stand in the forefront in times of danger, no matter how dire the foe. Your skill and courage ever prove an anchor for your companions during the tumult of battle. That's pretty cool.
The tumult.
Tumult? I thought it was an R. I can't read.
Yeah, I realize that's not big enough for you now.
It's okay.
The
point is...
You know what this reminds me of? Strength before weakness. Journey before destination.
Of course it does.
Yeah, well, can you believe me?
Very
Anyways,
paladin.
in the ideals of
I think in the... It's the soldier
Stormlight
back?
Archives, one of the Windrunner oath is, I will protect those who cannot protect themselves. And this totally embodies that ideal, and I really like it. And I like that this talks about being at the forefront, because it doesn't have to be a physical forefront warrior.
Mm-hmm.
You could play another class that puts themselves at risk.
Like a medic, like a frontline medic.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
You don't even have to be like a spellcaster. There's definitely a healer's kit in the game, and you can be proficient in it, and you can be a literal fantasy doctor.
Be a thief.
Yeah, some people...
I did that.
exists.
What?
Yeah, people keep forgetting the healer's kit exists, and it's actually pretty good at low levels.
Yeah, really good.
And I have it.
Especially if you take the feat to use it.
Yeah.
Raven the
Doesn't
Crow
that
has
give
it.
you
Good stuff.
some sort of like bonus?
Something like that.
I know
I think
with
it can
your
take
thief,
away, like-
you can use it as a bonus action.
I know you think you can even take away like exhaustion with it with the feat, right?
I don't know.
Something it's not bad, whatever
I
it
do
is.
love the thief with that kit is awesome because if somebody goes down, you can
Just
pop a senzu bean in their mouth and then go still stab somebody.
yeah. So thieves are good.
I mean, like, yeah, healer's kit just lets you
Stabilize
stabilize
somebody.
Without doing a wisdom saving throw.
But the feet lets it heal, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. So
It's the feet you need to go with it. So.
and
Anyways,
that was
They also gain 1 hit point actually when you stabilize them. So
which means they get back up, but they only can benefit once every short rest, right?
I don't think so. I think it has charges like 6.
10 charges.
10 charges. So there you go. It's quite a bit. It's really, again, tools are not utilized enough in D&D. Use them. They are
That's
good.
a player choice, by the way.
No, it's the healing from defeat they can't benefit from.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Just kidding.
But
Haha.
you can still stabilize them though.
Yeah.
You can still be a
More than
fantasy
once.
doctor.
You can be Dr. Quinn, medicine woman. Anyways, the Eternal Defender.
You don't even know who that is, do you?
Nope.
It's so old. Like,
It is old.
my wife watched it, and I was just like, "Why are you watching that?" It's got that popular guy in it though.
Popular guy.
Who's the dude?
Crap, I'm drawing.
See, not that popular apparently. Anyways,
Joe Lando.
Joe Lando, that's who it was. All right, that'll do it for our character concept, the Eternal Defender. Our monster variant is the Quickling Runner.
Meep meep. Meep meep.
Oh, I see what you did there. The original stat block you will start with is the Pentadrone. Quicklings are swift, wicked fae that kill other creatures for food, treasure, or sport.
That does not sound like a fae.
They like to set ambushes and outwit enemies. They prefer to slip past enemy defenders and attack the weakest looking opponents first.
Hell yeah.
I love that, first of all, because they do that. No longer can your player be like, "Oh, you're picking me because I'm the healer." No, they do that in the lore, so you're shit out of luck. Sorry.
sorry, dude.
Sure, I'm just throwing Quickling after Quickling at you.
And inversely, why wouldn't smart enemies target the healer?
Right. If their escapades enrage an adversary too strong to overcome, Quicklings have no problem fleeing in the chorus of nerve-grating laughter and return later time to when their foe is weakest. How douchey would it be for you guys to fight these things? They run off and they jump you when you're fighting something else.
That's brutal.
That is savage.
When you're fighting Unit 0 and they're like, "Oh my goodness, they're fighting a giant robot. Let's get them."
Little needles or daggers come out of the edge, and you look back and you just see the head of the damn thing cackling at you.
He's like,
Little bastards, and they're just darting around. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. I totally should do that to you.
One thing I love about fae is that when they talk to like actual people, they're like, "All right, do it again. Do what again? Lie again. Okay, I'm a pink dragon." And the fae's like, "How the do you do that? How do you are not? I've been studying this shit for 1,000 years. And how do you do it? I don't know, but I'm a pink dragon."
Can Fae not lie?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's funny.
Depends on which lore you go by.
Yeah,
That's interesting. I
but
didn't know that.
the fact that they can't lie is just
All right, so
funny to me.
how do we build these things with the Pentadrone stat block? You're gonna remove the True Sight and the Anti-Zaumatic Mind and Disintegration.
Oh, axiomatic.
What
That
the hell
one.
ever? That sounds better. Whatever. Axiomatic Mind and Disintegration. I'm not smart. We already know this all. You're going to give it some new features. You're going to change its arm attack to a short sword or and slashing damage. You're going to give it cunning action on each of its turn. It says the spy. That's not a spy, Justin. That's just the text you copied. The Quickling can use a bonus action against the dash, disengage, or hide action. And
Hell
it
yeah.
gets quick cuts. When a Quickling makes a melee attack against a creature, it doesn't provoke an opportunity attack from that creature for the rest of the turn, whether hit or not.
It's basically the mobile feat.
Now,
Well, a small portion of it.
yes, now, this is where it gets interesting. And it encouraged high mobility battle. The reason I throw the Pentadrone is because it's one of the few enemies that can attack 5 times.
Ah,
It can attack a lot. So this character can literally dart between an entire party, hitting all of them. And get away, and you can't do shit about it.
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I know, right? One of the other core features of the Pentadrone is an effect called poison gas, which, if I'm not can paralyze the players. So not only can
That's rough.
it paralyze in a cone, but then it can run and slash at everyone. What happens when you hit while you're paralyzed, Ian?
You get critted.
You get critted. So this
Fantastic.
little weak ass damage becomes significantly more dangerous.
Effectively doubled.
Yeah, it's really damaging.
That's no bueno.
What do you guys think about this?
I like it. I like speedy, fast things of doom.
Yeah,
Meep,
me
meep.
too. Meep meep.
Meep beep.
Yeah, that I actually hadn't considered that, but that's kind of what's going on. So.
Actually, I guess it's more like the Tasmanian devil, but whatever.
Yeah.
I missed that. Yeah, you did that much better than I did, asshole. All right, I think that'll do it for our monster variant, the Quickling Runner.
Heck yeah.
Who had the one before me?
I did.
Ian, would you like to tell us about our encounter of the podcast today?
The encounter of today's podcast is Poison Hunters.
Ooh, tell me more.
A Quagga Thonot is looking for material components for drow poison, stuffing anything that looks even remotely poisonous into a large sack that hangs over its shoulder. Lagging a few hundred feet behind him are 2d4 drow and a drow veteran.
Okay.
Characters spot the monsters in the distance, far enough away that they can plan an ambush or choose to ignore them. For the ambush to succeed, the players must catch the monsters by surprise by succeeding on a group DC 14 stealth check. The Quagga's bag contains raw materials of shadow fungus, scorpions, and spiders used to create drow poison. A character attempting to craft the poison must succeed on a DC 17 nature check with the poisoner's kit and spends 1 day of downtime creating 2d4 vials of drow poison.
Ooh.
On a failed check, the character produces only 1d4 vials and poisons themselves, getting 2 levels of poison.
All right, what do you guys think about this?
That's some punishing stuff.
Nasty.
What do you think about the encounter overall?
I like it.
Hey guys, let's kill those guys so we can take their stuff. So we get stuff.
That's
Make
the
it-
most adventurer thing ever, right there.
Absolutely.
Like, I just see some people off in the distance. Oh, those don't look good. We should go kill them and take their stuff.
Are we the
Minding
good guys
their
or bad
own-
guys
they're
here?
just minding
I
their
don't
own
know.
business. Sure, the thing's ugly looking and it's got drow with it.
And drow usually mean evil, so.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Yeah.
So you gotta kill them. But that happens. As with most adventuring parties, you kill everything and take their loot.
What did you think about the addition of the taking the poison loot and being able to craft it?
I like that probably the most out of that.
It's a nice touch.
Yeah, because it gives some form of tangible benefit, like immediate.
This is a this is my practice idea on a product that's based on full of these. What do you think?
It's cool.
It's very simple, straightforward, but has a lot of versatility for the dungeon master. So,
I can agree to that.
all right, that'll do it for our encounter of the podcast, the Poison Hunters.
Cool.
Austin, would you like to tell us about our magic item that you
Basically, I had it,
so
but then I
fond
gave it.
of? Yeah.
But this was really cool. So this magic item is the Blade of Bahamut, which obviously, if you don't know who Bahamut is, he is the Platinum Dragon. Yay! Now you know.
The more you know.
It is a longsword. It's very rare and it requires attunement. Emblazoned with the Platinum Dragon's profile, this platinum blade empowers the wielder to unleash divine retribution upon enemies or blind them with Bahamut's holy radiance. Very cool stuff. Very
Hell
flavorful.
yeah, it is.
You gain a +2 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this weapon. So, without anything else, this is already a really good weapon so far. You can use a bonus action to cause the Blade of Bahamut to flash brightly. Each creature that can see you and is within 10 feet of you must succeed on a DC 16 Constitution saving throw or become blinded for 1 minute. A creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a success, and it can't be used until after a short rest, which a short rest is generous, and I like that.
I am benevolent.
Because it is the Blade of Bahamut, I would hope that you can use it a lot, honestly.
That's how I roll. You're
Right?
welcome.
The sword
You're
also
welcome, Matt.
the sword also emits a bright light in a 10-foot radius and a dim light for an additional 10 feet. I always like that. I don't know why.
Now, before you get into the next part, we recently covered Mythic Odyssey of Theros, and there was something we talked about in there that I loved so much. What was it?
And it's the fact that if you follow the god that has of the weapon, you basically get an additional effect.
Right. So, as is, anybody can get those first sets of abilities. But if you have piety towards Bahamut, what else do they get?
They gain Bahamut's Blessing, which one of our players just happened to be a follower of Bahamut.
Oh my god, I thought I did enough alluding that it was clearly meant for him and nobody caught on, not even Matt, who's the follower of Bahamut.
Now, see, I'm usually the jackass and just like, it's my item now. I don't know. I'm holding on to it.
Like, I couldn't imagine how many times I reiterated of Bahamut.
Yep.
Bahamut's sigil is on the side. It
was at
platinum.
least 11, or it was like 10 or 11 times.
it was
It was
a
a
lot.
lot.
That reminds me of like a few times too, where a DM kept on alluding.
Redcoats.
Yeah, redcoats. Actually, no, I was thinking like wait, when we were given the vision, you see what the key looks like, and about like an hour later, I'm like, oh, I'm a 4-star main cleric.
I can make a key.
I've seen it. And the GM was like, finally.
Anyway, so what is this blessing that they get?
So if you worship Bahamut, your connection with the weapon is stronger than most, and you gain the following additional benefits. When you are the target of a spell that causes you to regain hit points, you regain additional hit points equal to your Constitution modifier, which is very good.
That's very generous if you consider he's a paladin. If he lays on hands once for 1 hit point.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be
way
from another person. It can be
Yeah,
from
it's
yourself, too.
It's much more potent.
Yes. When you make an attack of opportunity, you may make an additional attack with this weapon. You do not add your ability modifier to the second of the attack. Basically, you're just dual-wielding one sword onto a person
Yeah.
that's running by
he's
you.
getting an extra attack. Now, the reason I did this is because it fit with his up-close combat style and protection style.
And we're
A
a
lot.
party of 3, so, and we need all help we can get in hell.
Because we are quite literally in hell, and it's kind of tough.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about this weapon?
I mean, I said it like a million times, right? Like, this weapon's very badass. I love it.
He
I'm always
almost
a fan
kept it-
of
He almost
fucking-
kept it himself without telling anybody. Like, hey, I'm just going to... By the way, they stole it from somebody important.
I'll just knock him out again.
Put his helmet back on.
I'll just be like, hey,
What about you, Ian?
we keep this, or this goes on your head as I'm holding it.
There's a lot of stuff to it, and there's a lot of layers to it, depending on the player's character.
Yeah, and I'm sure that Matt will get a lot of use out of it.
I'm fully positive.
All right, that'll do it for our magic item, the Blade of Bahamut. Our Dungeon Master tip is Secret to Game Balance. This is right from the Kobold's Guide to Game Design and written by Monty Cook.
Cool.
Who is Monty Cook?
The guy who designed 4th edition, which is way better than what most people think it is.
Well, and he's designed a lot of different games and
That
done
too.
a lot of D&D work. I was kind of sad that you just tried to... Most people are going to take that as a jab now.
But it wasn't,
I
because
know, I like 4th edition.
it's actually kind of interesting that a friend of mine pointed out that he's read like a lot of articles online of like guys going back to 4th edition and revisiting it and going, hey, there's actually a lot of good stuff in here. Like, yes, that's what we were trying to tell you the whole time.
Where do you think all my ideas come from? Almost everything I come up with is from 4th edition because I played it for a long time and I have all the books.
And you've heard me say many times too, I think most of the arguments against it always fall flat.
Can't roleplay. You can roleplay whenever you want. All right,
You
so
saw me arguing against the guy.
I did. I was laughing. So, what are the secrets to game balance from legendary designer Monty Cook? So here's the real secret to game balance. The secret to game balance, not game design. There is such a thing, but it has very little to do with the rules and game designers. It emerges from a cooperation with the people sitting around the table. It comes from the players and, in particular, the GM. It all has to do with a mutual trust.
Hear that?
Do you
Trust.
do you guys trust me?
Most of the time.
DM? Most of the time. It's not the answer I was expecting, a-hole.
I mean,
Eh.
no, honestly, you haven't really done me any wrong, which is kind of surprising.
Well, you are unconscious a lot, but that's usually your...
Yeah, I was gonna say, no, that's me. I 120 million% take blame for going unconscious because that's my fault.
The first is that everyone is responsible for making the game fun for all involved. It is
Very
not
key.
just my responsibility. It is not just your DM's responsibility. It is a group effort. I agree 100% with that.
I also agree.
Don't get us wrong. The DM does play a part in that, but
Yes.
Yes, but it's sometimes understood that it's just our responsibility,
And
that's not true at all.
couldn't be further from the
Our
truth,
games
yeah.
would not be nearly as interested in if my players weren't awesome, even when they piss me off with banish, or using a grappling hook in crazy ass ways that functionally I disagree with, but he rolls and still gets it.
I roll super high because I'm a
Awesome.
rogue, so it's just like, oh, my dexterity is fucking off the charts. Let's see if I
fucking-
can
he's
do
gonna-
this
he's gonna
one.
bank it off of one edge and flick it over here, right? Anyways,
Let me just jab it off this rock on this angle and just.
bank shot. Anyways, the second is to trust the GM to provide a fun and balanced play experience. This is the gamer's social contract, the agreement that everyone makes, consciously or unconsciously, at the beginning of every game session. I can set the game world, I can describe the game world, but if you don't take action,
Yep.
Yeah.
it falls flat.
Now that said, a game can be ruined by either a bad GM or bad players too, though. So.
Yep, and I've been on both ends of those. I have been a terrible player. I wasn't always this phenomenal. It took a lot of work to get being pretty good. Not that I'm gloating or anything, but I think I'm all right.
Yeah.
As a DM, I still suck. Some people say I'm good. I still see all my flaws and all the
Right.
things that I could have did better. One thing I think I've talked about numerous times, my biggest weakness is initiative. This past week, I wrote down initiative order, and it went Zorax, it went Merle, it went Monster, and it went Merle again. And then, now mind you, we have another player, right, Chiron, but instead I went Zorax, Chiron, whose name isn't even written down, who should have been in the very last spot. So it was just...
And
it's one of my biggest weaknesses.
honestly, that's such a minor thing too, because I get it, right? Like I know, like we're pretty combat heavy in terms of like our player base, but
Yeah.
And actually, Matt does say in chat, I did like the amount where last month Austin's character was about to use an innocent boy as a sacrifice to a pack of hellhounds. And his girl's like, "Don't you dare!" And
Well,
he doesn't enjoy moments
okay,
like that.
framework first before you paint me to be a bad guy.
Throw him to the wolves, literally.
Yeah, like okay, I'm playing an evil character. Now, obviously, since I'm evil, I don't have the good mindset of, let's make sure we get everyone out safely. I'm like, well, I want to make sure I'm alive, and I do like my comrades because they do effectively keep me alive. This boy's not keeping me
He's
alive.
not doing anything
So I'm going to
valuable.
pick him up and throw him to hellhounds.
And you're also ignoring the fact, too, where guys like, guys, I'll be a distraction and lead them away. You ran it in there before I let them away.
Yeah, that was
Everyone was ahead of the curve. But
real,
anyways,
real bad.
when you play your game, the secret to good balance of roleplay, mechanics, all of that is
I feel like
a group effort.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if anything, some of that stuff, like how much roleplay and everything, that I feel like that largely depends on the players. That's not even like the DM at that point. Like,
And
the DM sure is supposed to like cater to you guys or create this story, but like you guys effectively are trying to like you all have a set preferences, right? We love combat. He throws combat at us every session. We love it.
And I'll admit, too, though, there are some
Which is not my
characters
sh-
which,
not
for
my
some
bag.
reason, I click with, I run away with others, and somehow get more role-playing opportunities. I don't know why it works that way, but it just does sometimes.
And you do really good. You all do. Honestly, I'm very blessed. I got a great team of players. This wasn't poking fun at anybody particular, but this is something I have seen happen, and I agreed a lot when I was reading through these words. So
I guess for a more, a personal experience from me, I used to play a lot of World of Darkness about 4 or 5 years ago. It was a while. Our game master, the storyteller, as in that game, he was great. Loved him. Great dude. We had a lot of players, and somehow he managed to keep us all together. I don't know how. It was like
that's
7
an
players.
That's an impressive skill
It
set.
was. There were moments when it was just like, how do you do it? I don't know how you did it, but there was definitely like problems. Was that sometimes the players just couldn't. We couldn't correlate or agree on a lot of things, and it could have been because we were such a large group, and that happens. I was a very passive player in that because it was one of my first time doing like tabletop RPGs. So I really didn't contribute to a lot, whether in the game or not. I was kind of goofed around and kind of did my own things, and everyone kind of was okay with it. I didn't do anything like game breaking or anything like that, but there was definitely some players where there was like they're really pushing this envelope that not any players really wanted to receive,
Right.
That was a problem.
Yeah, unfortunately, my one experience with World of Darkness was not a positive one. So
Yeah. I would
You've heard that story.
Yeah, I would gladly run it again if I had if it was like just us. I would gladly play it more because it's a very role play heavy game, and I did like it a lot.
All right.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Moving
moving forward.
34.
Yeah.
All right. So that'll do it for our Dungeon Master tip. The secret to game balance is mutual trust.
Absolutely.
If you don't have that, get the fuck out.
Find a new group. I'm sorry, or
Not every person's meant for every group. That needs to be admitted.
and that's true. Yeah,
So
it's unfortunate, but it's true.
Like I definitely played with some groups that were like very roleplay heavy, for example, and they are afraid to in character get very argumentative or make verbally attack other players in character, mind you. But sometimes it gets to the point where like, I don't feel like this is in character anymore.
right.
Yeah, it's like where's
They
the
don't-
line,
yeah.
and that's
All right.
tough
So
Yeah.
moving on to that'll do it for our Dungeon Master tip. Our player tip of the podcast is
Don't be a dick.
Oh God, I love it.
It's been so long.
And
Yeah, it
you
really
can,
has been.
You can avoid dickitude by treating your gods or mastering your gods and fighters. This is another thing from the D&D 4e Martial Power book. And specifically, I was doing research for my players, and this happened to be something that came up because I was reading a lot about Bahamut, okay? So Bahamut and Court are popular deities among fighters. One thing I've realized is clerics and paladins aren't the only ones that can focus on in their bond with their deities.
No,
right?
absolutely.
Fighters can do this too.
Which is something that Theros definitely builds upon too.
Yes.
And that actually was one of the other things that led to this is I wanted to encourage fighters to realize that they can devote themselves to
or even just like rogues.
Deity.
Yeah, even
Well,
rogues
any
can do that.
class. Specifically, this was for fighters, but it really can be any class. It doesn't have to be the traditional cleric or paladin. Bahamut and Court are popular deities among fighters because their influence over matters of war. While many fighters turn to Avandra as the god of adventure, fighters who believe in the virtues of conquest often worship Bane. Never considered that. I love that. Even if they're not actually evil.
I had a
There's
character.
a fine line there.
I actually had a good character who worshipped Bane.
Really? That's awesome.
Although, to be fair, that was because Bane actually did appear to him saying, "Hey, I want you. Why should I join you? Because I'll give you good stuff. Parts of my armor and weapons." Okay.
That's such a shallow worship, but it'll work.
Hey, you know what?
Beyond these four gods, all the deities in the pantheon count some fighters among their worshippers. Fighters who view their martial skill as an art form, including many elves and Eladrin fighters, worship Corellin.
Makes sense.
Arathis is a popular civic god, often revered by soldiers. As a god of knowledge, Ione holds appeal for fighters who study the history and of warfare and strategy, which I think is really cool. And some Battle Rager fighters seek to mimic the fury of nature that Melora represents. Moradin is commonly revered by dwarves and any fighter who seeks to protect a community. I think this deity would really go well with somebody who got the what is the local hero? What is that background? The local folk hero background.
Yep.
Protecting the community. And of course, Paler is popular among good aligned fighters just in general because Paler is a good deity.
Yeah.
While the Raven Queen is a common patron for grim, bitter soldiers and mercenaries. Now, this one's interesting to me because being able to have a fighter who had been like a prisoner of war and felt that their deity abandoned them.
Right, didn't save them.
And their only way to get out was they found a poisonous spider. And that turned them. They took that as Lolth is, she's a spider queen, right? Or something like that.
Believe so.
That was her supporting him when his deity failed him.
Could you imagine if, like, the poisonous spider, like, crawled up to his arm but didn't bite him because they were under, like, the same stressful situation? So he was like, I have a plan to get me out of here. And so, like, eventually, like, one of the guards rolled by and, it's in, like, his sleeve or something, right? And so the soldier, who's a fighter in this case, let's say, obviously they can be very quick and nimble when they need to be. Obviously with, like, second wind and stuff, too, you can flavor that however you want, or action surge. And he just comes up to the guard right up to the bars, grabs him, puts him in an armbar, and the spider comes out, bites him in the neck, paralyzes him, grabs the key, gets out.
Now
It's stuff like that. That would change your belief instantly. I guarantee it.
Because you've been praying to Bahamut for months, and he ain't done shit.
And then this poisonous spider, who you believe could have been from Lolth. And you're just like, you know what? Even if it wasn't you, I believe in you now.
Spiders are my saviors. Anyways, I really think that it's important for us as players to remember that we make certain... we start to expect certain trends, right? We expect the cleric to be this holy person or this devout worshiper, and in some cases paladins too, even though they're not really bound to that anymore.
Not anymore. Yeah.
You can break that, and in this case, as a fighter, think hard about how your character became a follower of a deity, not just because I'm good, so I'm gonna pick this one. Why? What happened? Build on that story and build that bond. You gave a really great. I love that. That was awesome. Do you got anything, Ian?
Nothing to add outside that was already stated.
Yeah.
All right. That's not what's going in there today. What did I share? Oh, that's what it was.
It was the...
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
So I think that'll do it for our player tip today.
Don't be a dick!
And you can avoid dickitude by remembering
Gods can
and
fit anybody.
Fighters. Yeah. The title's Gods and Fighters, but I usually
Yeah.
change it to fit a theme, and I'm not right there yet. So
Yeah.
anyways,
That's okay.
That'll do it for our show today, you guys.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I think this is a good episode. It's good to be back in the
In the studio. honestly.
again. I
Yeah.
miss you guys coming over because you know what I realized watching the other stuff.
Hmm.
We have way more interactions when we're sitting next to each other than
Yeah.
we do when we're
Yeah.
streaming. Though we are going to be streaming in one of the sessions coming out.
So there you go.
Because we're going to have a really big guest on, and I'm super excited.
Oh yeah.
Really big guest. That being said, please join us on our next episode. We're going to be talking recovery dice. Anybody that follows me or listens to the show knows how I love to use hit dice in fun and creative ways. I found this product called Recovery Dice by Total Party Kill that uses them in a way that goes beyond anything I have
I am
thought of.
so excited about it.
So-
I hope you implement this somehow because this is so
I'll make
dope.
it happen. It really
It
is
is
something I love.
And it's weird. I mean, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll get to it. We're excited about it
Yeah.
because, like I said, it brings a resource that I feel already was underused and brings it to the forefront and gives the character players
Yeah.
more options.
It makes them really shine to be like that heroic moment. Like they're already beyond the limits, but they got pushed that last little bit, and this is what this does, and it's
Yeah.
just so cool.
It's very cool. All right, well, that'll do it for our show.
Yeah.
If you have any feedback, other tips and tricks, or topics you would like us to discuss, please send them to us. You can email them to us at critacademy@gmail.com, or find us on Twitter and Facebook at Critacademy, or Instagram, or anywhere. We're everywhere.
Instagram.
Right? And we do have an Instagram account.
It's just, we don't use it very often, I think. But it's there.
It exists.
You can give it a follow anyway, it doesn't matter.
And we hope you enjoyed your experience here at Crit Academy. If you have, you can help others find the show by leaving a, hopefully, 5-star review on iTunes, or just send us messages telling us how much you enjoyed the show. And also, be sure to give us a like and a share.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure to subscribe to our show at critacademy.com. Follow us on Twitch, .tv/critacademy. Or please subscribe on YouTube. Please subscribe on YouTube. Get us more followers. So we can help you on your future adventures, as well as be entered to win cool prizes each and every single week. Make sure to check out our fellowship members as well. If you have not listened to Inter-Party Conflict, Gabe and Jeff's episodes are awesome. They're full of inspiration. I cannot state that enough. I don't listen to very many podcasts anymore that aren't revolved around business and marketing and stuff anymore. But I always make sure to keep up on Inter-Party Conflict. Make sure to check those guys out. They're awesome. Also, go to the Facebook group for Game Master Stash. Every single minute, I feel like they're posting a new character or a new NPC idea or a new threat or a new magic item. So much crap. Not crap, so much stuff.
Yeah.
So much stuff that just really is phenomenal. So
Yeah.
definitely check them out. In the show notes, if you want to support us, you can pick up our Words of Power. I just posted across all platforms the link directly to our Words of Power on Amazon. So please pick that up, support us. If you do pick it up, please leave a review. Pick up that physical copy.
And tell
Send
us some
pictures.
moments too, honestly. Yeah, like I'm sure there's probably going to be some real cool moment out there where they're speaking Latin to you and you're like, what did they just say to me? It's like, I just told them that they're going to be engulfed in holy flame. Tell us, what was the premise? I want to know.
I want to know. I want to hear more.
Yeah.
Also, if you support that Kickstarter for Never Ending Ink, over there, check that out too. It was really great.
Yeah.
Good product. So definitely help them out. I think they only got like 7 days left. So.
Yeah.
All right. I am your host, Justin.
I'm your co-host, Austin.
And I'm your co-host, Ian. Thanks for listening.
Keep your blades sharp and spells prepared, heroes.
Cool.